Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is challenges of African American youth, and we have with us to talk about some of the challenges of African American youth, Minister Gregory Taylor. Minister Taylor has been with us on a number of occasions, and today he has agreed to talk about some of the challenges of African American youth and some of the ways that they might be able to overcome some of the challenges that they face. And of course, Brother Taylor, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you.
And let me tell you how delighted we are to have you here.
Thank you.
And to let our audience know that not only have you been with us before, but you've given us excellent information each time that you come.
Thank you.
So before we start, let's have you to give us some information in reference to your background,
Okay.
your education,
Yes.
and some of your experiences, and take about 6 minutes in reference to doing that.
Okay.
Then we'll have a first commercial break for 2 minutes, and then we'll come back for 8 minutes and deal more specifically with what we consider to be some of the challenges of African American youth today.
Yes.
Let's start off that way.
Well, my name is Gregory Taylor, and I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, a little town called Northport. And I went to school at Selma University, and we today have, I went to graduate school at Virginia Union. I didn't finish there, but I did go. And today I have become, along with working with the estate of Sir J. Robert Bradley, I'm an ambassador for the Civilian Conservation Corps, which is an excellent program that came about in the 50s, in the 30s, in the 30s, by FDR to reach out to the young men who were sons of the Depression. And so I am a son of the Depression, and I think that what's most appropriate here today when I think of young people, one of the experiences of my own, my mother was hungry and pregnant with me. And when she fixed my lunch for kindergarten, she would fix me a banana, potato chip, and chocolate milk. And I would sit there until it was time to eat. I didn't do anything else. And the reason I'm saying this in this introduction is I'm a product of what I'm talking about. That our kids today, which don't have food, how it affects them in the classroom, trying to study, wondering where the next meal is going to come from. All of those things affects their concentration. And I'm speaking from my own experiences, but I had food, but I still couldn't concentrate in school because I didn't learn my ABCs until about 4th grade or something like that. So these are the kind of things that are going on here. And a lot of the things that happen, I think T. Barry Brazelton said that what happens after birth is a direct correlation to what happens before birth. And Dr. Alvin Poussant and the lady over the Children's Defense Fund said that our kids today are being prepared in prenatal for prison. And this is true. And so this is the general subject area where we are coming from and speaking about, today. And those are the areas. In school, I forgot about this, I have written a book that's entitled Unrefined Thoughts for Thinking for Learning. This book is about my struggle in school and learning to read. And I'll never forget, I was presenting it in class one day, and this little girl said that she had never heard any material like mine written before, and that she had stopped learning because she was not learning like the other kids in the classroom. And what intrigued her the most about what I had to say was when the teacher would ask us if we comprehend something that they had read in the book. And Dr. Haney, I would say, comprehend? What is that? I thought it was a cloud or something supposed to appear in my face, my book, with the answer in my face or something like that. But I opened up and didn't mind sharing with those who were learning to read my unorthodox way of learning, or thoughts that I would not share as a kid in school because they put me in a special education class or something like that. And one of the other things in the book by Fabre, it says how to talk so kids will listen, and listen so kids will talk. Yeah, and it said that a child may not know how to tell you how you made them feel, but they know how to feel. And so that was one of the things for me in kindergarten. I was afraid of the teacher's voice, so I quit, And then when my mother was teaching me how to read the Bible, when she couldn't pronounce a word, I was made to feel guilty. But as an adult, I learned that she didn't know phonics, And so these are things that teachers have got to open up. Like a lot of teachers who are certificated, they're not certified. you know, they can teach, you know, the lesson from the book and things of this nature. So
they have a certificate, but they have no certification.
That's right.
In terms of the ability to be able to deliver the information. And so what we're going to do, Reverend Taylor, is to take our first commercial break, and then we'll come back and give you an opportunity to finish this discussion. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. Thank you, and welcome back to the second segment of the show for today. We're talking to Minister Gregory Taylor, and he's giving us some information dealing with the challenges of African-American youth. And, Brother Taylor, let's see if we can pick up where we left off the first time, and to give you the next 8 minutes to talk about some of the challenges of the African-American youth. And since you've indicated that you know something about the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, to bring in as much information in terms of what this great organization is doing in order to try to help youth, not only African-American youth, but youth, period. Let's talk about it from that perspective.
The CCC came about in 1933. I think it was April the 5th in 1933, and there is a granite rock on the Bicentennial Mall that gives a description of who they are. And these were great men. There are about 40 today that are left, and most of them in their 90s and above. And today, I see the CCC as a program that is applicable today to help our young people. And I heard on NAP radio yesterday that there was a gentleman on the archive online archive, who's the director of that. He was talking about the CCC, the WPA, and the PWA, and these programs. And there's a book, Dr. Haney, that's entitled This New America. And it is believed that this book was FDR's greatest project. And I believe it myself, that it is his greatest project. And I'm giving it all that I have today. And in reference to the young people, Dr. Haney, the young people, I give this illustration. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and he was a little tense about something. So I asked him, I said, Johnny, I said, do you have a birthplace? He said, yes. I said, do you have a birth certificate? He said, yes. I said, do you have a birthday? He said, yes. And I said, do you have a birthmark? And he said, yes. And I said, do you have a birth memory? He said, no, but I can get one. The point is this. They are not in tune to their birth memory, what the mother and father were thinking when they brought them into the world. And I remember hearing Dr. Cosby say one time that children learn interpersonal communication skills from listening to the mother and father talking to each other. I didn't get all of that in my home. My family and mother and father acted out family life more than they spelled it out physically. So there are a lot of the homes grow up in those homes, and then there are a lot of homes today where the male is not present, and all these different things have got to be compensated for. And one of the things that I would suggest here, there's a game called the Ungame. It was developed by a lady named Ria Zakic. She's in California. And this game was the result of her losing her voice and having to write down everything that she had to say. But in the process of it, she discovered this game. And one of the main things about the game, it helped people to create a safe environment where kids can exchange ideas and they can grow, and it developed their interpersonal communication skills. And I've been using that game myself since 1983. And it is very effective. I was working with the Boy Scouts and this type of thing. But they have got to learn how to talk to each other. And you know, that's one of the things today that is hurting them. And also to even go further, Dr. Haney, the civil rights movement, the protests and stuff like that, our kids' birth memories are filled with protests. Those who were born in the 50s like myself, I was born in 55, and I'm 63 years old today. But I know how that era has affected them. And having graduated from Selma University, Dr. L. Haney wrote in the Selma University Chronicle that when the civil rights movement left Selma, it affected the kids in school. They were not able to concentrate. It took them a whole year to learn how to concentrate. Now, think about what happened in Ferguson, Missouri. A lot of those kids didn't have access to their lunch and to their food. Good. And they are going to be affected by this for the rest of their life, you know? And so in that particular experience, Dr. L. Wilkins in Selma wrote in the Selma University Chronicle, 1992. She said that when the civil rights movement left Selma, it left a schism, a lack of spiritualness, a moral decay, and a confusion that affected the families, the schools, and the churches. And today, Dr. Haney, there are 10 cities in Alabama which has become the most dangerous to live, and they are spin-offs of Selma, Alabama. And so these are the areas where to go. And it was Dr. Attorney General Chestnut's aunt who said that it took the kids a whole year to learn how to concentrate in the classroom again after the civil rights movement left. And that reminds me of what Dr. Harry Belafonte